Kalonzo Musyoka, who is one of the principals in the Azimio, emerging as the face of opposition politics as Odinga and President Kenyatta work behind the scenes. The Azimio leader's quick criticism of President Ruto's speech to the joint sitting of Parliament is a clear indication that traditional opposition politics is making a comeback. I want to hear what you think of that. Do you think that Kalonzo Musyoka is maybe, Ishmael, shaping up to be that face of opposition, perhaps taking over from what we clearly knew as, Raila Odinga's position?
Yeah, it was actually always leader number two. Even during the campaigns, we knew that Kalonzo, Martha Karua took what ordinarily would have been his position, but he salvaged himself when he went back to Azimio. And you can, I am sure the Kenya Kwanza team reached out to him to make sure they have him on his side, but he stood firm and decided he wants to play that kind of politics. And the fact that he brought in Ukambani votes, unquestionably, I think still makes him really to be a luminary to watch. I think it is true. We don't know about other factors, that support a politician, whether he still meets and can navigate through them correctly. But in terms of opposition politics, I think he's the strong man to watch for now. And we don't know also whether Raila Odinga and the former president will be standing by him all through, or they'll be tired along the way.
So that it's just time to tell.
By the way, they are a factor. If they stand with him, then right. If they don't, I think we have another story.
That will be something to see in the future. I
think so.
Right. Dismas.
Yeah. Again, in the established democracies, the UK, the US, when the president delivers a speech on any issue of national interest, then the opposition leader or the minority leader comes out also to react to that. But sadly for Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, he criticized what President Ruto said, but he did not offer an alternative. Anybody in Kenya has got capacity to criticize any speech. You just say that President Ruto missed the key points. Anybody can criticize. But I guess where the rubber meets the road is when you offer credible alternatives. Like, for instance, President Ruto has indicated in black and white that his administration is not going to subsidize consumption, but they're going to subsidize production as a strategy to reduce the cost of living. So when Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka criticizes that position, he should be offering an alternative. Now, when you offer an alternative, that's when you inspire people. Then they start looking at you as somebody who is has good capacity to take over as the head of state. Now, if again Kalonzo doesn't receive the support from President Kenyatta as well as Honorable Raila Odinga, we need to start asking ourselves whether he's got capacity to move on his own motion without the support of President Kenyatta as well as Raila Odinga. And for me, it creates the impression that somebody who is reluctant, who doesn't have capacity. And in my view, ODM really needs to go for that strategy session and identify some sharp tools in the shade that can buttress the national leadership. Because even the way Kalonzo delivered that speech...
But you can't say his recent remarks and his visibility, at least in the recent, few days, last few days, you can say it's actually eclipsing, Raila Odinga's position in the opposition as we knew.
No, it's simply because Mr. Raila Odinga has not come out. If Mr. Raila Odinga comes out, then you will not even discuss Kalonzo. If President Kenyatta decides to come out today and give a statement, you will not even remember who Kalonzo is. So in my view, Kalonzo has got now this unique opportunity to demonstrate leadership, to offer solutions. Because what Kenyans are really ailing from is 10 years of where we've had economic challenges. And we've said these times above number that when President Kenyatta took over, poverty rate was 38%, it's now 64%. So when you criticize President Ruto, you must give Kenyans credible alternatives, credible policy alternatives. If you don't do that, then Kenyans are likely to yawn.
All right.